Ladies and gentlemen, the 206th Congregation of the University of Hong Kong, the Congregation section of the Faculty of Business and Economics will begin very soon. Please take your seats and switch off your mobile phone or turn it to silent mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the 206th Congregation of the University of Hong Kong, the Congregation section of the Faculty of Business and Economics will now begin. Please rise.
See you. I declare this congregation open.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Jasmine Kwong, the Master of Ceremony of the University of Hong Kong 206th Congregation, Faculty of Business and Economics session. The graduation ceremony is also broadcast in real time to all graduates and guests around the world. Mr. Provost, I call upon the Dean, Professor Hong Bin Tsai, to deliver a speech.
Provost, honorable guests, colleagues, family and friends, dear graduates, it's a great feeling to gather here today, in person at the Grand Hall on this beautiful campus to celebrate your graduation. What a remarkable achievement. Congratulations, Hong Kong U Business School, class of 2022. As you graduate and get an Hong Kong U degree, you have reached an important milestone of your life after completing an incredible journey at Hong Kong U. Working along with you on this journey are the dedicated teachers and administrative staff at Hong Kong U Business School, whose helping hand are always there to support you. Some of them are here today to celebrate your graduation, to share your joy and excitement. Please give them a big round of applause. Thank you. No one is more proud and happier today than your parents and family for all their love, support, and sacrifices for you. Please stand up and turn to them and say thank you with a big round of applause. Please stand up, turn to your family, turn to your parents, and to say thank you for all your support, all your love, all your sacrifice. Thank you. Thank you indeed very much. Thank you. Roman Roland once said, there's only one true heroism in the world, to see the world as it is and to love it. Well, at this stage of your life, you have seen and experienced the world no other cohort has done in their college time. The social unrest in 2019, the pandemic in the last 2.5 years, campus lockdowns, remote learnings, many other disruptions, you went through them all. As if they were not enough. Now the Russian-Ukraine war, the turbulent international market, the hyperinflation, and the rising geopolitical tension, all these add up to the enormous economic uncertainty and probably the worst job market in recent history just when you are about to find a job. So you may wonder if your college time was really a training program of crisis management. What doesn't kill you make you stronger? The strongest tree grow from the toughest soil, like the banyan trees and the masonry walls everywhere in Hong Kong. Here you are much stronger than when you started at Hong Kong U journey. Not only with knowledge and skills that enable you to compete in the marketplace, but also with the agility and the resilience that make you confident to face any challenge and obstacle in the future. We couldn't be more proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself too. Tomorrow, you will be embarking on a new journey in your life. You'll be seeing the multifacets of the world as it evolves, sometimes bright and beautiful, but some other time dark and ugly. If the current trend continues, for example, economic recession and high inflation are threatening the global economy. Decoupling and deglobalization are picking up steam. Nationalism and populism are spreading across countries, so on and so forth. The world is likely to become darker and uglier before it became better. I'm sure you are well prepared than others for challenging and difficult times down the road. But how do we love the world, giving out the darkness and the ugliness? The answer is hope. Hope is seeing light through darkness, seeing rainbow and blue sky through storms. Sometimes we have to walk in darkness in life, even work for a long time, totally exhausted, wanting to give up. But as long as you have hope, you will keep going and going until you reach your destiny. No matter how tough it is now, hope gives us the strength to fight for a better world. What you have learned during the last few years must have shown you the power of being positive and being hopeful, which I'm sure will be very valuable in the future. Together with faculty members, students, alumni, and friends, later this month, I will be going to Ho Chi Minh City and Tel Aviv for the opening ceremony of the Representative Office of HKU in Vietnam and the HKU Tel Aviv Innovation Hub. It's exciting to be able to travel after so long, and even more exciting to see that HKU Business School's International Outreach Network is coming to shape. Our Beijing Center was successfully opened last year, and the Shenzhen campus will be ready for use next month. So we started to build this International Outreach Center before the pandemic, and plowed through after the pandemic spread around the globe, when much of the world took a pause and scaled back their investments. Setting up the International Center in different parts of the world is pretty complicated. And the pandemic certainly made it a lot worse, but we did it. Now, as the world is looking forward to the post-pandemic era, HKU Business School has a unique international outreach center that can best serve our students and alumni in various cities and regions. HKU Business School is only 21 years old, similar to your age. Like yourself, HKU Business School has grown up through storms and disturbances and become stronger each time. Today, as you graduate, you become an alumnus, a lifetime member of HKU Business School family. Let this be your intellectual home for your lifelong learning, association, and friendship. I'm confident you will have your success in life and will make your impact in the world. We will be hopeful as long as you stay positive and hopeful, because you and your generation are really the future. Class of 2022, congratulations again to all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Tsai. Mr. Provost, I call upon the Associate Dean, Research and Knowledge Exchange, Professor Chen Lin, to present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Mr. Provost, I present candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Deng Bingjie. Lü Qianjun. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Thank you, Mr. Provost.
Mr. Provost, I call upon the Associate Dean, Executive Education, Professor Haiping Shen, to present to you a candidate for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration.
Mr. Provost, I present a candidate for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidate in absentia who is eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidate to the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Provost.
Mr. Provost, I call upon the Associate Dean, taught postgraduate, Professor Yokwai Fong, to present to you candidates for the following degrees: Master of Accounting, Master of Economics, Master of Finance, Master of Global Management, and Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Mr. Provost, I present candidates for the degree of Master of Accounting. Nari Blake William Phillip. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Master of Accounting.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Master of Accounting.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. I now present candidates for the degree of Master of Economics. Lei Ho-man. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Master of Economics.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Master of Economics.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. I'll now present candidates for the degree of Master of Finance. Anderson Stian. 黄永诗、郭思义、許嘉文、 李天顺、Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Master of Finance.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Master of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. I now present candidates for the degree of Master of Global Management. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates in absentia who are eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Master of Global Management.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Master of Global Management.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. I'll now present candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Business Analytics. Solomon Allison. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidates here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Master of Science in Business Analytics.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Thank you, Mr. Provost.
Mr. Provost, I call upon the Associate Dean Undergraduate, Dr. Derek Chen, to present to you candidates for the following degrees: Bachelor of Business Administration Law, Bachelor of Economics, Bachelor of Economics and Finance, Bachelor of Finance in Asset Management and Private Banking, and Bachelor of Science Quantitative Finance.
Mr. Provost, I present candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration Law. Au Puyin, Chen Arif, Chen Denise Wing Q, Chen Chi Han. Zhang Hoi Lam, Jiu Ai Hin, Zhang Feng Hei Kevin, Choi Nini Ling Ni. Chiu Carlos, Ji Wai Hong, Fong Wing Tong, Feng Xiang Yin.
高卡洛、虛伊蘭、以旺、葉鳳卡、關思瑜、Nam Hoài Yin, Lao Hy Dung, Lo Kha Mei, Lee Hiu Ching, Lee Hiu Kwan, Lee Vivian Wade, Lee Ka Yiu, Lee Si Ying, Nơi Ho Ming, Nơi Hon Lee, Ma Wai Chi, Man Chi, Mo Ho Ching, Yi Lok, All White Key, Zhang Wing-Yi Victoria, Choi Hiu Lam, Wong Chang Hong, Wong Ho Sing, Wu Ho Ching, Yang Qin Ho, Yang Wei Yin, Zhao Xiansha, Li Bichit Mei Kei, Yip Wei Man, Leung Si Ching, Wang Zhe, Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidate here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration Law.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration Law.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. I now present candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Economics.
汪聽希、汪思怒、汪次玲、Michelle Lalaku. Mr. Poros, I request you to admit the candidate here present and to admit in absentia. Those are the candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Bachelor of Economics.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Economics.
Thank you, Mr. Poros. I now present candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Economics and Finance. Bắc Minh Quang, Chen Chek Han, Chen Ka On, Chen Pui Hong. Chen Yuk Lam, Chao Fu Kuhn, Zhang Chi Yao Stephanie, Chen Chi Yin. Zhang Lok Hin, Zhang Hiu Lam, Chiu Chi Hong, Choi Chi Hin. Choi Yin Tak, Benny, Zhang Yi Pui, Chao Pak Xiu, Ju Ming Yin, Yini. Ju Wai Chong, Zhong Chak Hei, Zhong Zhong Sing, Dong Xin. Fan Si Yi, Feng Xinping, Gao Yunming, Wu Haiyu. Ho Ming Ki, Yin Zhen Ki, Zhang Yunfei, Kim Jong Wang. Guan Man Hei, Hong Ying Sum, Nai Yi Fei, Nam Ho Ching. Lam Long Cheng, Shalom. Lam Cham Yi family. Lao Yu Ken. Li Chi Nam Esther. Li Pak Hei. Leung Lok Hin. Li Xiu Han. Leung Ying Tong. Man Ho Jun. Miu Yi Wei. Nga Hei. An Xi Lo. Park Wing Yi. Peter Armstead, Jessica Emika. Poon Chapman Justin. Chiu Yu Fei. Shamak Kuma. Xiao Yifei, Sam Yong Xu, Zhang Hinhei. Zhang Hiu Xi. Zhang Hiu Tong, Zhang Ka Yu Leon, Choi Wing Ka Karen. Jie Junhei Vincent, Yu Chonghei, Tong Xu Hei, Wang Qing Yu. Wang Haishun, Wang Lok Yin, Song Ying Chiu, Yam Xin Yi. Yip Han Ching, Yip Yiman Yiman, Yong Yi Chong, Zhao Qi Qi. Zhang Jingyu, Chen Manghim Gabi, Hong Ching Ai. Choi Yong Chung, Chen Yu. Yang Han Yu, Yan Si Bing, Yin Shu Qi, Yang Si Yun. Mr. Powell, I request you to meet the candidate here present and to admit in absentia those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Bachelor of Economics and Finance.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Economics and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. I now present candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Finance in Asset Management and Private Banking. Lai Ho Yin, Zhu Yan Yun, Chen Xu Sen, Ao Hoi Hei. Mick Matthew, Janet Chun Hei, Ma Zhong Mei James, Chen Lok-Ting Joyce. Mahajam Ajong Alaf, Tong Li Chen, Xin Kuan Yin, Thum Chiu Hui. Wang Yat-yin, Li Jia-qi, Yong Hei-shun. Mr. Powell, I request you to meet the candidate here present and to admit in absentia those are the candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Bachelor of Finance in Asset Management and Private Banking.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Finance in Asset Management and Private Banking.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. I now present candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Quantitative Finance. Chen Ming Ho, Bashula Hari, Edric Willa, Ken Yu-tin. Leung Ting Chung, Ni Man Hay, Imtawa Wilaka Widadi, Lo Chun Yu. Shen Tianlin, Tan Yu Hua, Wang Chenglan, Wang Xiuyi. Yu Ming Tong, Zheng Wei Gong, Zhong Yan Ting, Lok San Batten. Mr. Provost, I request you to admit the candidate here present and to admit it absentee. Those other candidates eligible for admission thereto to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Quantitative Finance.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I admit the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Quantitative Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Provost.
Mr. Provost, all degrees for this session have been conferred. I now call upon the graduate representative to present a vote of thanks.
Good morning, professors, fellow graduates, families, and friends. I'm Allison. I remember just a few months ago, as our graduation creeps around the corner, a sudden surge of regrets kept me sleepless, reflecting on the what if and the could have. Yet here I am, sharing the honor with all of you in the brink of a new chapter in life. One of the most memorable lessons I got throughout my 6 years in HKU, for both my bachelor's and master's degree, came during one of the lowest moments of my academic journey. It was my junior year, undergoing my bachelor's degree. I was up all night at our learning commons, preparing for my final exam. On the verge of giving up, I decided to have my favorite midnight snack, the infamous Indomie instant noodles, with its reeking stench spreading throughout the building. Midst my midnight feast, I felt someone coming towards my direction. I was nervous. I might get scolded for the nuisance I have created. But instead, he asked where to get the food and shortly joined my pungent supper party. He is now one of my closest friends. Spoiler alert, the exam didn't go so well, but everything else did. The final grade was so insignificant that I couldn't remember, but I got a funny, memorable story worthy of a graduation speech. The point of this story is that sometimes we got caught up in our own definition of failures, to the point where we forgot the good small things that comes in between. On that note, I would like to invite all of you to take this moment to celebrate our failures. What matters is learning how to fall in order to get back up. It is only through the help of our mentors and loved ones that we are able to share this honorable moment together. My sincerest gratitude goes to those who have dedicated their time and effort to guide us into a bright path. In some ways, these past few years have been a massive success to all of us. From trying to stay awake in Zoom classes, to being locked away, to losing loved ones. We successfully overcome the challenge of an unprecedented pandemic through compromise and unselfishness. Today, we have arrived at a common destination. The road ahead is long and unpredictable. So let's learn from our shortcomings and embrace them like a badge of honor as a reminder that no matter what comes across us, we know how to rise. Thank you.
I declare this congregation closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.